Good afternoon, Mr. Horner.
Good afternoon.
And thanks for making time for this interview.
My pleasure.
Okay. You were recently out in Asia, 3 months back, and you toured several cities in China. And now, tell us, how would you describe Alberta's relationship with Asia today?
I think our relationship is stronger even than it was in the past, and a lot of that is due to obviously the energy economy that we have in Alberta, but you have to remember that the connections and relationships in Asia for Alberta have been developed over many, many years, 30, 50, 100 years in some cases, agricultural based perhaps to start with, but those ag ties have been extremely strong over the last 60 years. We've been in Alberta, a twin of Heilongjiang province, for more than 25 years already. So we've had some very strong relationships built up over the years, and certainly from a political level we've met with many of the senior political leaders in many of the Asian countries. Our interest is obvious because we are closer to that port of Prince Rupert and closer to moving our product on an export basis. We're a day and a half by vessel closer to Asia than anywhere else in North America when you look at the Prince Rupert port. And Alberta, as an exporting province, depends very heavily on global markets. So it's a natural that we would want to increase those ties and make it the type of relationship that will last for 1,000 years.
China is, I read that it's the second largest trading partner of Alberta. Now that's something that doesn't crop up that frequently. We read about British Columbia quite often. What is the province doing about building up the relationships with China? Is there a task force looking into this at the moment?
Well, we don't have a task force that is specifically set up for China. We do discuss amongst ourselves within Cabinet about where are the targets that we need to focus on given Alberta's strengths. And Alberta's strengths are in the energy field, they're in the agricultural field, they're now going to be into a lot of the science and research fields of nanotechnology, of life sciences, of biosciences, of the ICT economy, and then what we're calling the next generation economy. So when we look at the strengths that we have, now let's look at those marketplaces where we're going to have the most impact, not only for ourselves, but for our customers. And when you think about that, obviously our number one trading partner is the United States because they're logistically the easiest one for us to reach and the easiest to do business in because of a commonality of our legal system, commonality of language, commonality of currency in many respects. So when you go outside of the United States, China has grown to become our number two export marketplace because of the fact that they're interested in energy, they're interested in life sciences, they're interested in agriculture, they're interested in all those things that we want to be leaders globally in. So to that end, there has been a number of ministerial visits to China over the last 3-4 years. Personally, I've been there 3 or 4 times as the agriculture minister in my past portfolio, and we were, as you mentioned, in China earlier this year, in May of this year. We're going back, hopefully this fall. We're just arranging some things around agendas right now. But we do view China as one of those key components of the next generation economy that we're trying to build in Alberta.
Can you provide some statistics in terms of how much the province sells to China last year, and then what do you expect in the next couple of years? I
don't have those at my fingertip, but I'm sure we'd be able to dig those out for you in terms of what the major component of those exports are. Agriculture and energy are going to figure very prominently on them, I can tell you that. We've increased our exports of livestock value-added products to China. In the earlier days of our relationship, it was based, as I said before, on the agricultural establishment. China's dairy industry, as an example, is largely based on genetics from Alberta. Their cattle and beef industry on the feed side has been heavily influenced by what we do in Alberta. We, and I think China and the Ministry of Science and Technology, have recognized that there's a very strong link between technology, science and research, human health research, and agriculture. You have nutraceutical applications, you have the historical context of Chinese medicine based on herbology and based on the human body and how it interrelates with its environment. I think it's extremely important that we learn from what Chinese science and history has to teach us. And I think it's equally as important that we share what we are learning in our nanotechnology fields, in our biosciences, and our life sciences with China.
What kind of programs are you looking to establish or have established between the province and the Chinese government or the provincial government in Heilongjiang?
We have signed several memorandums of understanding with the Chinese government. We had, on this previous trip with the Ministry of Science and Technology, signed a memorandum of understanding on technology transfer and research transfers of individuals. We are looking at post-secondary transfers of students and academics between our two jurisdictions. Those were the national agreements we signed with the national government, which is somewhat unique for a province to sign a national agreement with China, but that, I think, shows the relationship and trust that's been built up over a number of years. With Heilongjiang and the Ministry of Science and Technology there, we have a number of memorandums of understanding underway currently. One is for a food production laboratory, very similar to our Leduc food production lab here in Alberta.
To establish in
Heilongjiang. We also have, we did the sponsorship of a biosciences workshop in Harbin while we were there. In addition to that, we have numerous agreements between our post-secondaries and the post-secondaries in China. There's a number of other science-related memorandums of understanding, like under cancer research. We also, on this trip, one of the highlights was a signing of a joint venture as a witness to a joint venture with Ministry of Science